Hi everyone, it's Jackie here and I'm going to have a go at doing some tutorial craft with me videos around putting together a junk journal. A few people liked the last tutorials I did and have asked me to do some bits including covers. This video is going to be quite a lot of talking, I'm afraid. I'm not going to do too much on camera this time. I can't really show you a cover. Honestly, you would be bored to tears. It takes me forever to make decisions. I faff about, I get things wrong, and I change things up. But I have got a journal ready to go, which is one of my soft cover single signature journals. I'm going to talk you through my thought processes for the cover of this one, and then we'll see how it ends up. Sorry, my waggly hands, but there's a few pretty things here for you to look at while I talk. I'm not going to show you how I actually put the journal together. I've been making books, mini albums, books and journals now for quite a long time, 7 or 8 years. And I've learned a lot over that time from free tutorials on YouTube and from paid online courses, which I've also done quite a lot of, and as I say, for a long time. I've also developed my own ways and means of doing things. This particular journal, the first one I made like this, again, was a long time ago. I've modified it and changed things up. I've also been very interested in a couple of YouTubers, Nick in particular, Mrs. Cog, and probably Wendy as well, from Wendy's Journal Adventures. I've discovered them more recently, a year or so ago, and really enjoy what they're doing and have learned a lot from them as well. And this cover is actually similar to Nick the Booksmith's carpetbagger type thing. It doesn't look anything like her carpetbaggers, I don't think, but it is similar. As I say, I made it before she did her Teachable course, and I have no issues at all about people charging for their skills and knowledge. And I have bought the carpetbagger course and thoroughly enjoyed it and would recommend it in every possible way. So, having said all that, that's partly why I'm not going to show you how I actually do this cover and how I choose my pages. I will talk you through it very briefly in a moment, but there are lots and lots and lots of tutorials out there that you can find. So my single signature, they are fabric covered chipboard. They're covered on both sides, stitched, as you can see. I like things quite neat. I love, love, love shabby chic, but find it really hard to do. It's not my natural style. I can copy it and I can make nice things, but it doesn't come naturally to me. This slightly neater approach does. So that's what I'm stuck with mainly. I choose a mixture of book pages and tea dyed paper. I tend to do tea dyeing more than coffee dyeing. I don't know why, just slightly prefer it, I think. So you can see what I've put in here. For these journals, I use 20 sheets folded over, so you end up with 80 sides. And I use a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, almost always, and I nearly always tie it on the inside. I always use waxed linen thread because I like the way I can tighten that and get a tight knot, so everything is really secure. I think those were the main things I wanted to say. Oh, I trim as well. I like my edges neat, so I trim that down with a craft knife, always. Now, I do also put in shorter pages, which I quite like, so you get a bit of variety. So when it came to the cover for this one, I have a wodge, I haven't got them here, but I have a wodge of pictures, mostly people. And when I came to this one, I knew I wanted this one on the cover. This little girl is from Mrs. Cogg's Beautiful Bonnet set, which I love, and the colours tone beautifully with this fabric. It's not a vintage fabric, but it looks vintage. She has little rosebuds on her dress, there's a little bit of green, and it just really looked nice. And this is where things started to go wrong. So initially I thought that that was a little bit big. By the time I've put stuff around that, that felt too big. So that was my first print, so that went, and I did another one, a smaller one, which is better. So then I started with the muslin and the layers. I had a book page layer and I put this on it, and then I got glue on the front of this. So off I went, reprinted it, came back, stuck it on again, looked at it and thought, I don't like the pink. So I got that off and got rid of that. So this is where I was at that point, and I'm going to tell you now what I was going to do for the rest of it. So this will be inked around the edges. It will have book paper around it, from an old book probably. I'm going to machine stitch around the edge of this, and that will probably be enough for that part of the cover. And then I'm looking at the bottom, and I thought some lace would be nice on this one. I'd like to dress it up a bit. So I've got this, and I looked at that and I thought, well, that's not enough really. So that's when the faffing really starts, and I try all these different bits and pieces. They're not the right pink, they don't really work with this particular image and the way it's going. I quite like using this vine stuff, but again the pink was the wrong pink. I did think about this quite seriously, because although it's not an exact match, it does tone with what's here, but it doesn't really tone or match anything on the picture. So I kind of didn't go with that. I also tried the green, no, I tried the brown, and I did quite like the brown. I thought that was nice with that, but again not quite right. So what happens when I can't work something out? Oh, I did find this pink ribbon which does tone as well, but again didn't look right just on its own. So what I always go back to when I'm struggling a little bit is the image, and I try and pick up on some of the things that are in the image. And what I like about this image is the goldy colour, because it tones with the background and the leaves, and the frills. So then I started to think a frill would be nice, and I had this scrap in my scrapbook box, which is here, I keep next to me. Well, it's one of them, I've got several. I've also got a bigger box of sari silk. Here it's ruffled, so I'm thinking it'd be nice to have this ruffled along here. It'd be nicer if it was wider, so it filled a little bit more, but it's not. And I didn't actually know at this point if I'd got any more, so I went and looked in my box, and I have. This is the only bit I've got left. So that, I think, is going to be ruffled along there. But while I was rooting about, I also found this really pretty fine silk. I presume it's sari silk, and I don't quite know where that's come from. It's in a big bundle that I've bought from somewhere. So the decision now is whether to, which I'm going to ruche really, might be this one, and then have this sitting across the top, or I might do it the other way around. So I will still be faffing around with that and trying to decide long after you've all got really fed up. So this is 10 minutes and I'm going to try and stop it. This will be a series. I'm not sure how quickly I'll get them up. I'll probably do a number of videos and then put them up quite quickly one after the other, when I'm watching tutorials, I don't really like waiting. I'm not going to do anything to this, the inside of this cover. This is a pretty sheen fabric with some sheen on it. I would always leave that till the end to see how fat my book got. And I'll probably leave this page as well. But what I do want to do is a pocket here and make something to go into that pocket. So that's going to be the next part of this tutorial. I've already got together bits and pieces, including prints from the old design shop, Mrs. Cog. I think this is the old design shop as well. So, oh, and this is a bird. I've got a bird journal on the go as well. I'll show you those quickly. In fact, I've got two bird journals. I've got this one. So we might work on this one at the same time, and I've got this one. So those are put together, and we might do some bits in those as well, depending on how this one goes. I think that was everything. There was something else I wanted to say, but I'll have to wait for the next video because I've forgotten. So thank you all for watching, and see you soon.